Across the country, traditional congregations face a steady decline in attendance and a widening generational gap. For many leaders, the institutional model feels like it's reaching an inevitable end. The common response to this decline is to abandon the building and its history entirely, assuming that the only way to reach a new generation is to discard the old structure and start over. But the Japanese art of Kintsugi suggests a different approach. When a precious vessel breaks, artists repair the fractures with lacquer mixed with powdered gold. The goal isn't to hide the damage, but to incorporate the repair into the object's history, making the finished piece more valuable than the original. Revitalizing a church involves the same honest evaluation of institutional fractures. It requires identifying exactly where the model breaks and applying specific methods to mend those gaps. The first major fracture in the traditional model is institutional invisibility. In an era of hyperconnectivity, many churches are effectively invisible to the neighbors they are trying to reach. For seekers today, the first point of contact isn't the physical front door, it's the digital front porch. They vet a community online through social media and websites long before they ever consider an in-person visit. Data shows 96% of church websites fail this initial vetting process. Instead of highly polished corporate videos which trigger inauthenticity, mending this gap requires transparency. Raw, smartphone-style video of actual members provides the proof seekers need of a safe, tangible community. In a digital ecosystem defined by filters, unpolished reality is the only way to build genuine relational trust. The second fracture occurs inside the building: spectator apathy. Traditional models often expect guests to sit passively in a pew for months before they are invited to contribute. Younger generations are often wired to be contributors rather than consumers. They look for opportunities to participate in a cause, and a sit-and-listen culture fails to engage that drive. The actual solution is to prioritize immediate involvement. Instead of funneling newcomers into passive small groups, successful churches are inviting guests to volunteer on a team almost immediately. This addresses the two primary requirements of community: the need to be welcomed and the need to be relied upon. While being welcomed makes a guest feel comfortable, being needed makes them feel essential. When a newcomer takes on a shared responsibility, like running audio or assisting with child check-in, they move from being an observer to a stakeholder. These shared tasks accelerate relationship building far faster than a standard greeting. Providing a clear path to active service is the most direct way to transform a one-time visitor into a committed member of the community. The third major fracture we see is isolation. It's the gap that forms when a church functions as a closed-off sanctuary, while the surrounding neighborhood faces increasing social and economic challenges. A local church cannot sustain its mission if its doors represent a barrier between its faith and the community's reality. Mending this requires a shift toward tangible compassion through bridge events, gatherings designed specifically to serve local needs without an immediate religious barrier. This might look like free health clinics, local financial seminars, or neighborhood service days addressing specific community pain points. When a church steps into the daily struggles of its neighbors, it moves its message from the pulpit to the pavement. It builds a specific type of social credibility that earns the right to be heard. Addressing real-world needs is the only way a church can prove its values are a lived reality rather than just a Sunday lecture. The final fracture is shallow discipleship. Relying solely on a centralized weekly program often leads to member burnout and prevents the development of deep personal relationships. Churches are adopting the mixed ecology model, a central service supporting a network of decentralized microgatherings. The large-scale service provides shared identity, while neighborhood groups provide intimate daily support. These smaller settings allow individuals to deepen roots within their specific local context. While the large gathering serves the mission of the institution, it is these micro-communities that sustain the actual life of the congregation. The result of these repairs is a Kintsugi church, a hybrid community that merges its historic core with new members who are actively engaged in the digital and physical life of their city. Rebuilding outreach methods and church structures doesn't mean losing the institution's identity. It means applying the gold of authenticity and purpose to its existing history. By embracing these fractures and applying purposeful renewal, a church becomes more than a survivor. It adapts into a resilient hub for the future.